No worries.
Oh my God. Okay. It's
Okay,
so
I'm gonna mute you guys, and then we're gonna start to open the door so people can start to join us.
Okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay, she's gonna use bathroom. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Okay.
I get all my opening stuff, so no worries.
Okay.
Thanks, Kaipo. Ooh, aloha kako. I see some friends joining us here on Zoom. Aloha. Aloha eka ohana Rossi Fukino. Aloha eka Lizette Ohana. So good to see you guys. And mahalo for joining us. I'm excited for today's show because I've always wanted to learn how to do all these things. And that's actually a big part of my intention and goals is let us all learn together and, get more ma'a to, making our connecting with our aina, our mea kanu, our lāau. All right, I see that we're live on our Facebook. So I'm gonna be sharing it here. Okay, I'm gonna share so I can invite all my friends. And I encourage all of you to do the same. Call them, tell them, come gather around. So aloha to all our friends that are on our Kanayo Kana page, joining us here. And, we're this week we're celebrating International Day of Biological Diversity. And so I was really trying to find friends and organizations that are committed to our biodiversity and just being able to share that mo'olelo and honoring our mea kanu, our mea ola, all of our living things through a platform like this. So yeah, we're really excited. And we have a lot to share today. And I see so many more of our friends joining. So aloha ho kako. And I see wakani no kahola. We've reached that hola eva, which is when we get started. So aloha ho e na hoa. Welcome to Lei Ānuenue, a webinar series of connecting people, connecting friends, connecting ohana through culture and through these kinds of platforms. So we're always excited to come into your hale. Okay, let me go to our next slide. So please let us know where you're tuning in from. I know I see our ohana here joining from Kauai. Where else? And we have our Ho'oulu Aina friends that are joining us from Kalihi. I'm joining in from Hanapepe, Kauai. So let us know. Eo Wailua Kauai. Yeah, Oko and Nahoama Facebook. Where are you tuning in from? Mahela Oko. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let us know. We want to give a shout out to your Aina, to your Ohana. I see Mokuo Keave is joining us. I also see Ohana from Orange County, California. Here on Zoom, we have Ohana joining us from Kapa'a, Kauai, from Makiki, Oahu, Maiwaki, Nekona. We got people from all different places. Kahalu'u Oahu, aloha e hi'ile. Mahea ho'aku, ma Wai'anae, aloha e ko Wai'anae. I'm sure Wai'anae is really beautiful today. And mahea ho'aku kako. So you guys can continue to share where you're tuning in from. Oh, we even have a friend from Iapana joining us. Aloha. Aloha e na hoa ma Iapana, makula Maui, Kane Ohe, Modesto, California. Woohoo! Maikai, Pihoi hoi kea. I love seeing that we have Ohana and friends joining us from all different places. You know, Maika Piko hoi from our Piko here in Hawaii and so beyond, going even beyond this ki'i that we see on our screens. So aloha kako. Okay, I have a few announcements. Oh yes, I saw our friends at Native Hawaiian Student Services had shared this on this beautiful graphic on their in their newsletter, and I believe Allison Franco is our designer. So we wanted to say ho'omaikai to the class of 2020, whether you're graduating from Manoa, Hilo, any of the Kulanui, or you maybe even Kauai Community College, because I see Kumupua Rasi here, or from any of our high schools. Put a shout out in our chat if you know a few graduates that you would just like to honor right now. And so we can say aloha and congratulations. You know, I was watching some of these like drive-through graduations. I was so emotional watching it. So I see, yeah, we have more friends joining us from Florida, Indiana, Port Angeles, Washington, Oregon. Owai Hoaku, Nohi Lopez of Kamehameha class of 2020. Ayo. Kelsey, is it Jergonson? Kalamai from Kamakakua Kalani getting her master's. Oh my kaiiano and Nahaumana o Kauai Community College. Yeah, so just wanted to say again, ho mai kai to all of our graduates. We know this is graduation season, and yeah, we just want to honor them because it's such a different time, right? And graduation and hemokula is such a big part of our celebration. So continue to honor all of our graduates in different ways. Maybe sharing, maybe you might be inspired to share some lāau or some body butter and make it. I love those kinds of makana. So yeah, Kahiona from Kahuku High School, Maika Iloa. Awesome. So another thing I wanted to share, if there are any that are going to be transferring into Manoa, or you're already a student and you're looking for some free summer classes, connect with Native Hawaiian Student Services and you can send them an email at nhss.edu. I was reading through their newsletter, and I mean, these are just amazing classes that you can get for free. And I say that again, for free. You know, taking a class can be pretty expensive at Manoa. So reach out and find out. These are our summer sessions. There's a Summer Institute program that's specific for students transitioning from a community college into Manoa, or, you know, just call them, talk story, write them an email, go find out about these classes. You know, a lot of my friends like Kumu Noilani Punivai and Kumu Lilikala Elehiva are teaching these courses. And again, these are upper level courses in the summer session too. So yeah, go get on their newsletter and find out about all these amazing opportunities. Oh, I see another one. Maeva is saying, oh my kai to my nieces Mahina Okimoto and Keana Wintrode from Kahuku Red Raiders. All the 2020 graduates. Awesome. So here's our next question. We kind of wanted to get a sense of who's in the room. So, you know, today our guest from Ho'olu Aina will be talking and sharing more about these lāau or these plant medicinals. So we kind of want to know, have you used any of these before? Put a 1 in the chat if it's I, and you're here because you also want to learn more. Or 2, ole, I don't know what these are, and I'm here to learn. So we're going to be talking about honohono grass, maile hohono, pohina, and laukahi. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of twos. They're like, oh no, Aole, I'm not really familiar. And I'm here to learn. Even Michael is saying, yeah, I'm here to learn as well. So awesome. Oh, that's so exciting because I know today's episode will bring you some value and bring you some new learning, some ike that is shared from kupuna from one generation to another. So there's a few online that's joining us that have used some of this before. So we got a good mixture. Even some that said that they've learned from Papa Awai. And oh, Maika Iloa, yeah, we wanna honor all of our kumu that have shared this kind of ike, even like Kumu Ohai, who has taught so many that have come through the Manoa program and even here on Kauai. So awesome, Maika Iloa. So we are totally excited, and I'm gonna take us off of sharing now so you can get a little more up close. And I'm Malia Nobriga Oliveira, and I'm currently tuning in and being a Leo Alakai here from Hanapepe Valley, Kauai. This is my oneha now, but I'm very happy that through my work of community engagement through the University of Hawaii at Manoa, Hawaii Nui Akea, that we are able to partner up with Kanayo Kana, a Kula Hawaii network to really bring Lei Ānuenue, Aikole, and so many more webinar series into your hale. And I hope you guys are all enjoying and finding value in these live series as well as the recorded series. So yeah, I'm gonna unmute my friends and I'm gonna let them do a quick ho'olauna of themselves, and then we'll jump in because I know we got so much to share today. So let's see. Aloha e nahoa.
Aloha.
So tell us a little bit about yourselves and where you guys are tuning in from, maybe even where your ohana is from.
Aloha, I'm Pua o Elieli. I'm from Kailua, Oahu, and living in Wamanalo right now. And we both are here in the back of Kalihi Valley. We call it Kalihi Lihi o Laumiha in the ili of Owawa.
Nice. My name's Aolani. I sleep in Nu'uanu, but feel so much like home here in Kalihilihi o Laumiha, in Owawa and Maluawai. And we're super stoked to be here to share today.
Yeah, super honored.
Mahalo nui. And you know, you might share a little bit about this later, but I was introduced to these young wahine through Puni, who's I believe the executive director at Ho'olu Aina. And then Puni told me, hey, go check out their mo'otels. They do mo'otels on Instagram. And I was like, oh, what is that, mo'otels? And, you know, I'm not always on Instagram. So I was like, okay. So it was a good excuse to go play around on Instagram a little bit. And I checked it out and I loved it. And I was like, oh, okay. Yes, Puni, please connect them with me. I would love to have them on our Lei Ānuenue. So, you know, for all of you Instagram users and lovers out there, go look up the hashtag mo'otels and go look for them on Ho'olu Aina on their, is that the name of the Instagram page?
Yeah, at Ho'olu Aina.
Yes.
At Ho'olu Aina, yeah. So go check them out, go follow them, click on follow, you know, and check out. They do, how often do you guys do mo'otels?
Every day.
Every weekday.
Yeah, every
At a
weekday,
specific
Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and 1 o'clock on Tuesdays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a response to COVID because of all of our ohana and all of our volunteers and our ohana that come up here. We're not allowed, we cannot connect with them right now. And so none of us are camera people, are super social like that. And so that was a kind of a big stretch for us, but we're so grateful for opportunities like that. And like this one as well. We saw a lot of our heroes on it. Like, I'm like, he's here. So yeah. So Puni is pushing us to stretch a little bit more.
Yeah, awesome. And that's what we have mentors like Puni for, to kind of push us a little bit out of that comfort zone, but it allows us to grow, right?
Yes.
And I think that's a big part of Ho'oulu Aina, and just even the mana'o of Ho'oulu Aina. I mean, I love spending time up there when I have been able to visit for some of the Wahine Hapai classes, and just the great work that the Ho'oulu Aina team is continuing to do. It's definitely inspired so many like myself to come home to my own ili and my own ahupua'a and be innovative and try to think about how we can do these very similar services for our community in our own backyards.
Yeah, and if you are interested, we do trainings of outer islands, and so that's part of one of our grants is to we're partnering other people, so we do want more kalahui kopo birthing classes out on the other islands. So yeah, if you want us to fly over once this is Tausi or Zoom something, we can. That's a service too. We do.
Great. Okay, so I know we got some slides and we got some ho'ike to do for our ohana. So yeah, let's get started. We're excited.
Oh, we're at the end of our slideshow. We're gonna.
No problem. As you're bringing that up and getting that set up, I'm gonna continue to. I see we have others joining us also from Kalihi. Peggy is joining us from Kalihi, and Michael is saying, yeah, we enjoy the series so much. So awesome.
Yay.
Wow.
Awesome. Just me? Yeah. Nice. So we wanted to open up with this beautiful image of, I hope everybody can identify which tree this is. It's one of our warriors in the forest. So this is our special tree on the property. We call her Mama Koa. And so the quote we see, or the saying that we see, is "Okaha okaaina ke ola okapo'e." The breath of the land is the life of the people. And so we start off with that, especially when we're trying to encompass biodiversity. We wanted to start off with our Mama Koa. She holds a really great example for us to be how she is a warrior by protecting the forest, for being the overstory, and how she does that. And so we believe how she's endemic, and so how she was formed and shaped for this aina. She has really special shaped laau, or extensions of her stem, which is a sickle shape. And so when the water, the rain falls on her laau, it then trickles down, it shares it, it falls off of it, and it goes down into the understory or the mid-story, it feeds, and then down into our aquifers. And so they don't get super tall, they don't hold on to all the water, they don't hoard it, they share. And a lot of our natives are shaped in that way for all of our different ecosystems that are across Hawaii, which is a crazy amount of different plants that are adapted to their spaces. And so Mama Koa being the example for how aina is connected to land, and how the breath of the land, if the land is healthy, then we're healthy. And so just her example of how she shares and how she gives to the next canopy, or the next layer, and then getting down into where we all get water from, into our aquifers, is how we start with one example of just how the land, it's a specific recipe for biodiversity to help us. And so I'll share a little bit about, there is a definition for biodiversity, and our definition for biodiversity here at Ho'oulu Aina, how we intentionally invite specific plants or ingredients to create a balanced ecosystem that's based on like ike kupuna, like it's an older recipe that we're trying to bring back to create collective abundance for the generations that come after us. Yeah, so that's how we're gonna open. And
Yeah, and another part of what Okaha Ka'aina Keolo Kapo'e is the breath of the land is the life of the people. And so that interconnected relationship between the land and people is extremely important as far as Ike Kupuna goes. And many of us here know because we are genealogy connected to Hawaii. And so how if our earth is not healthy, then we as Kanaka, we cannot be healthy. But the same goes if the earth is thriving and abundant, then us people are that as well. So that's what really this saying goes by. And it's one of our foundational things that we always talk about here. And so we're going to continue that in our talk today as giving you an example. Aolani gave an example of how Mama Koa shares her resources and makes abundance, make sure that there's biodiversity. But we also have Kanaka tradition that we share biodiversity within our kino because that's also important. And so so our definition of health includes biodiversity. And so just as the Aina has a specific recipe to create diversity, when a mom gives birth and she has this newborn, we have this old tradition of how the mom herself, or sometimes the kupuna or the dad, main thing, the first moments you have with the keiki, that you blow your breath onto the keiki. And so that actually is, so our breath, our ha, is has wisdom of our ancestors in it. And so when we share breathing, we are passing down the wisdom of our ancestors in our kupuna. And so we're also creating a biome within the opu and the lāau of the keiki. And so just as the environment has this specific way of to cultivate specific plants that share resources, same with how our ohana does that as well. And so, yeah, we want to share that.
Mahalo. You know, as you guys are talking about this, I'm definitely reflecting on our Kalahui Okapo classes and how we went through a lot of these discussions and learning and sharing of Ike Kupuna. Yeah, it's bringing back very good memories. And I think lessons that I think so many moms and dads, because the classes aren't only for the moms, right? We've always included the ohana as that support system, you know. And I remember some of the, just a reflection on that, like I remember just thinking about like even down to breastfeeding and the role of the kane with breastfeeding, because you think it's just mom and baby. Yeah. But really, the ohana, the mea'ai, the food that you put into your body and the water you drink, and how that's so important, like you're talking about in that role that biodiversity plays in the lives of the makua, but also the babies. So mahalo for bringing that forward.
Mahalo, mahalo. And that's a big role that we also see in the conservation that we do here. For us and many of other Aina organizations, you cannot have land without kanaka, and it's not the same relationship. And so when we talk about restoring our Aina, we also have to have ways to restore our kanaka. And so that's we're gonna keep, I guess, playing on that. But mahalo for that reflection. It's such a special time. And so we're so honored that you jumped in, and that lullaby that you taught us is my son's lullaby. And so I mahalo you for that. So this is a little bit of what we're gonna talk today. We're gonna jump back into Ho'oluaina, specifically in one of our programs that focuses on how we take care of our invasives and we lovingly remove them. And then we're gonna go into farming. So another part of Ho'oluaina is we farm food and food sovereignty. And then we also allow our lāau to grow within the beds. And then we're going to meet 4 different lāau, and then we're going to have this lāau activity. And so we'll teach you a couple ways to process lāau. And so, yeah.
Nice. And so when we opened up with Mama Koa, we also have some other friends that have found their way into Kalihi, into our forests. And so pictured here, we have, it looks like a va'a, and like only a va'a, you can't really see that that's actually painted on a tree. And so that's on an albizia tree. And and Corey Tom helped us to do that. Mahalo, Corey Tom. And so all the keiki that are in the picture, they're in our Mayuka Ku'uva'a program that happens during the summertime. And so we wanted to share a little bit of how we take out our invasives with so much love, and then we repurpose them and add to their lives. Yeah, like it's not over once you cut a tree down. It's only beginning another life, right? So no waste. We're trying to do no waste here. And so at Mayuka Ku'uva'a, one of the main things that we try to teach keiki that might not be as common in other programs is carving. And so it's one of the first things that they're gonna ever try to carve on, and we're not gonna use koa. And so we're gonna practice on some albizia. And so this is an albizia tree. We wanted to show the keiki how to see, like when you look at a tree, a kumu, you can see different things. And so we wanted them to see the va'a in the trees. I don't know, can they see me? And so this is a shirt from Mayuka Ku'uva'a. I don't know if you can see.
Maybe let's try and stop sharing if we can do that real quick.
Okay.
Then we can see you a little bit more up close.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, there. Let's see your t-shirt.
And so one of our Puni's son, actually, Buddy, Ikualono, shout out to Buddy. He drew this. So this is our albizia tree, and you can kind of see the va'a in the tree, yeah? And so they wear this, and actually on the back has our oli as well, but we wanted to share that how you can see and give them those new glasses, give them new goggles to see the canoe in the tree. And so that's like one way of repurposing, on top of, like Pua mentioned earlier, we let the weeds grow, which might be also medicine, in our food production space, where we feed nutrients to. We put good stuff into the soil, and that makes the plants even stronger. It also makes our lāau even stronger when we intentionally grow them, knowing they're going to be medicine. So every step from growth to it getting in your hands has a lot of intention into that.
Yeah, and then so we jumped a quick. Mayuka Ku'uva'a means my canoe comes from the upland, and so that's connecting how the uplands affect the ocean. If one is feeding the other poisons, then that's not a healthy diversity ecosystem. So we make sure that they understand from the uplands to all the way down in the ocean how they're really interconnected. And a little bit too about Ho'oluaina. We just jumped into what we do here, but Ho'oluaina, we're a nonprofit underneath the housing of Kokua Kalihi Valley. And so that's a federally qualified health center. And so one definition of that health center is how important land is for health. And so that's them being innovative. We're able to help lease this property that we're on. And so we have a number of different stories of how the community fought for this land against private development to make sure it's this 100 acres to be used for the forest, and also for people to engage with nature. And we're 100 acres, and we have a number of different programs that do it. So follow us. You can check our website out too if you want to learn more about Ho'oluaina.
And so, yeah,
I guess your job title.
Job title. I help to grow food here, grow medicine, grow forestry crops. I love seeds. And so I help to save seeds here and share that gift of how to save seeds, and how to get it stronger by growing it over and over and selecting different varieties for good traits, strong traits for the space that you're in, and how to share that correctly or in the best way I know. I'm still ho'oulu, I'm still growing myself, and grateful to have roots here to grow as well while we get to teach and learn at the same time.
So Aolani, can I ask you, how did you choose this path? Or is that something from when you were younger that you were interested in, and then did you take classes somewhere, and then you were lucky enough to get a job there at Ho'olu'aina?
Actually, no. I mean, I didn't. From young time, I wish I had a space like this. That's why we're so grateful to have our youth program, to have it start a little bit earlier. I was guided here actually by Keiki. I work with Keiki. I used to work for the YMCA, and I was looking for a field trip for them. And my friend actually suggested to come up here. He had an amazing experience up here. And I was interested in kalo. Haloa. And so Haloa brought me up here, Keiki brought me up here. And actually when I got here, Mama Koa told me to stay here. And so I got taken up the first day here because I told them I was interested in bringing Keiki. They took me straight up to Mama Koa and told me the story. And I'm also a paddler. So to see an alive koa in Oahu in town blew my mind, and she totally asked me to stay and help out, and I've never left. About 9 years ago. So
that's amazing.
Really grateful to be a seed of this place. Yeah. Should we go into okay. So we talked about mamakoa, we talked about albizia, we talk about lāʻau. Some other things that we intentionally grow here are lots of indigenous staples, lots of like hele, kalo, cassava, uala, and we're working on getting more of them, especially during this time, but also native ground covers, native trees, native mid-stories. We grow in the garden space, which is the smallest area compared to the bigger forest. We have about just under an acre, I believe, of fast turning crops. Really short-term crops that are always growing. Yeah, you can see we have beds that are turning, and every week we are sharing food with our community. And so that's like pak choys, tatsoys, chard, kale, lettuce. So we grow things like that. On top of, in those beds that you can see in the background, there's a huge bed of lokahi. And so we try to, one time Puni was walking around and she saw that we were really good weeders. She saw that we were a little too good, and there wasn't beneficial lāʻau anywhere when she got, I think she needed some lokahi and it wasn't around. And so we had to readjust and share the space. We learned how to share the space with the lāʻau as well as our food that we're growing. And so biodiversity in the garden space is super important as well. We don't only grow one type of thing in a big space. We try to grow many, many different varieties of plants, and that helps with bug control. That helps them be healthy, the plants themselves. It helps us. It's really nice to see some flowers, some bright colors, along with a lot of the greens. And we're organic, so we don't use any pesticides, herbicides. We make a lot of our nutrients that we feed. So we grow the plants, make it into nutrients, and then feed it back to the plants, which could be a whole series on its own. But, yeah, so we try to do crop rotation. We listen to the mahina, we listen to the moon, we plant by the moon phases. Kilo, and so we kilo what does really well here and what does not do really well here. It's pretty wet and humid, so we try to be good kilo watchers and see what does really well here, along with saving seeds. And sometimes, very few times, it's a crazy hike, but we go up on our ridge because our property line goes up to the ridge line. And so we gather native seeds, bring them back, propagate them, and return them into the forest to keep that native forest seed bank happening. And that's kind of some of the things that we do here in terms of growing the native forests and food crops and lāʻau.
Beautiful. I'm enjoying your mo'olelo already, and I just want to remind all of our friends on both Zoom as well as on Facebook that feel free to throw in any questions or comments in our chat, and I'll definitely bring them forward, whether you're on Zoom or Facebook. So yeah, halo.
My turn. I'm gonna take it off share because we have some live plants that we're going to meet, and so should I bring them here? Where is that? Oh, yeah, sure. So one of my kumus, Kamaile Pua, she would always say, sometimes the weeds are the lāʻau, and so that was an important thing for us to learn, that the weeds that are popping up in our garden beds are the ones that sometimes we personally as Kanaka, that's what our first medicine is. And so the genealogy of lāʻau that is shared here at Ho'oluaina, we have a couple of them, but one is we have Kumulevan Ohai. So I know some people on the chat, they met him personally, but when I met him, he was his ho'oleva at UH Manoa. I'm a Kamakakuo Kalani undergraduate and graduate. So I appreciate those stories from Kumulevan Ohai. But Casey Jackson over here, he was a longtime study of Kumulevan, and then this is Auntie Alapai Kahuena. And so these photos, right now we're so fortunate to be in our healing hele Kumakani. That was a name from Kumulevan, and so it's our first hele that is dedicated to one specific function. Being a nonprofit, all of our buildings function as many different things, but Kumulevan, when he first came here back in 2009, way before either of us were here, he had stood in the midst of all of the invasives, couldn't even see the parking lot. If there was sunlight, it was newly cleared. And so Kumulevan came here, and he said that he sees all tiny houses throughout the property. And so it took about 9 years to build this hele that we're in, but its specific function is for healing. And so mahalo Kumulevan. And so so the 4 plants that we are meeting today is, we'll jump them over. So this is Lokahi.
That's a beautiful Lokahi. My Lokahi outside no look that vibrant.
Well, because they grow in the garden, we're constantly feeding the garden. Our Lokahi also gets fed, but even because we keep the diversity in the forest, our Lokahi is huge too, and even in Pacifica. And so, yeah, it's I think it's a testament to when you keep taking care of the Aina, she takes care of you. And so some of the list of the 4 plants, they're not all indigenous or endemic plants to Hawaii. And so Auntie Alapai and Kumulevan actually evolved to learn about new warriors that were coming here. And so he included these into the repertoire of how he uses. And so Lokahi actually, though it's not endemic, there's lots of Lokahi around the world. It's indigenous to here. It's in some of our introduce. Well, it's in, I think it's a canoe plant. Yeah, it's a canoe plant because well, in some of the mo'olelo, Aokele Aiku, he's a famed navigator, and so that was pre-contact when it's just Hawaiians here. But so Aokele Aiku, his grandmother actually gifted this Lokahi, shows up in that one. I'm not actually sure if it's this variety, but and so Lokahi, she gifted to him to say that when you don't have any food any meat, this Lokahi will be the one to sustain you. And so this was his food because it would proliferate inside of his stomach and he would never feel hunger. And so that's what I think adds to what this definition of what this plant is. And so laau can mean leaf, but it can mean 400,000. And so kahi is 1, or generous, like kahiao. A lot of kahiaos we know are very generous people, and so you can translate laukahi to be one thing that generates 400,000 things, or one leaf that is extremely generous. And so that's what I think laukahi is meaning. But Kumulevan, he talked about this warrior. You could chew it and eat it inside of your diet, like in salads, and it would help with your high blood pressure. And then also with you can tea it, and it helps with me whenever I'm sneezing all the time, the sinuses and my allergies, it'll suck it out. But one thing I wanted to talk about when we introduced lāau is noticing how sometimes the lāau has characteristics that resembled within our kinos as well. And so in the back of the laukahi, you see these really defined veins. And so that's just like how our veins, they transport nutrients within our bodies. This one actually helps us take poisons out of our body. And so if a centipede bites you and the poison goes through, gets in your bloodstream, it'll hurt, like swell up your whole leg. And so if you get a centipede bite and you don't want it to go into your veins, the veins on this plant will actually help you not get the effects of it. And so many times we've had bug bites over here, mosquitoes. We have so much mosquitoes over here. We don't have often centipede bites, but sometimes we do. We make sure this grows everywhere, so we can just grab it real quick. You chew it up, chew as fast as you can. And then once it gets all sticky like this, then you put it right on your bite, and it works with boils and pulling everything out that you don't want in your body to pull it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, I've learned so much already about laukahi. What about the long flower, or what is that? The long.
Yeah. So there's different varieties of laukahi, and so they say that this really skinny one is the female variety, and this broader one is the male variety. And I thought that was so interesting because it's like, laulaka wahine is broad is the wahine, but and then haiki is the kane, but that's opposite in this plant. But if you look at the seed heads, try to put your seed heads down. So the wahine, we only have a finite amount of eggs. And so the seeds on this one of the wahine one is little bit. And then guys, they're always making sperm. And so this one has choke one. And so that was the only thing that I could recognize of why the skinny would be the wahine. And so
do you use those seeds as a part of making tea or anything like that?
You can.
The whole plant,
Yeah, you can use the whole plant. The roots I've noticed aren't super ikaika, but we still sometimes pull it out. The seeds you can actually eat. Auntie Kai'io Odom, she actually made crackers with the seed. They're really fibrous and have a lot of nutrients. I think it's a protein.
I think it's called xylem.
The xylem. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Sold in health food stores.
Yeah.
Aolani, I was gonna ask you about saving seeds or like replanting laukahi. Like, how can you share a little bit about that? Like, if I wanted to
on this one, you can do it.
Start a little area with laukahi and really be intentional about growing that in my. Right now, I think my only medicinal, well, I have a few, but I think mamaki is kind of my one go-to. But I would love to start maybe laukahi.
So this one's brown. You can see that. That's the ones you're gonna get the seed from. And Pua's helping me out here. You might want a dish or a bowl, and you just kind of run your hand, and it pops off. You see it falling.
Yeah.
And she'll show you.
So there's the seed heads. This is the covering of the seed heads is all this up here. And if you blow it, it's called winnowing. You winnow out the seed heads, and then these little things are the seeds.
They're a little darker,
and you can just throw them anywhere.
Yeah, you could broadcast them, and they're pretty resilient. I mean, we had a whole bed pop up because we didn't weed out the laukahi that it's seeded, and it stays in the soil, so it's really easy. You just broadcast them, water them in, and hopefully soon you could see little tiny laukahi coming up real easy. They're pretty resilient. Yeah.
Awesome. I do see a question here on Facebook. It says, what weather conditions does Lokahi grow in?
You'll see it in the sidewalk.
Yeah.
It's a really strong plant. It grows up here in the wet. I see it in the sidewalk down in Lower Kalihi where it's really hot. I see it where people spray. It's really strong.
Yeah.
You could pretty much grow it anywhere. Yeah. If
Mm.
you guys need, we have a lot up here too. You can reach out to us on ho'oluaina.com or at ho'oluaina on Instagram, and we'll be happy to help share some Lokahi.
And I see Sam is sharing on Facebook. I use Lokahi on boils, kind of like what you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're for pulling. Yeah. So anything that needs to be extracted.
Yeah. And that's the fun thing about Hawaiian lāʻau is there's so much different functions, and so it's constantly getting to know it. And so I only know about 10 different plants, I feel like, what grows here and what we use all the time, and I still continually learning new things all the time about them because there's so many different uses for a lot of Hawaiian lāʻaus. Multifunction is what our kupuna really cared about.
Which plant would you want to talk about next?
Yeah, and so just checking on our time, Malia. Do we have
we have about maybe 20 more minutes.
Okay. And so I'll go through a little bit quicker. I think I wanted to just talk about I think we'll just show our plants, but we won't get to
okay, no
talk
problem.
all about these ones as much. But the next plant I wanted to, this one is a introduced and naturalized plant here, but it's super functional. Auntie Alapa'i use this one all the times, and it is, you see it has really small, tiny little hairs. And so that's just like our kino as well. We have hairs all over our body, and actually our lungs are covered in hairs as well called cilia. And so this one, because it has these little hairs, the function of our hairs in our body so that we keep dirt and stuff out of our system. And that's what this plant does. It's a really great cleaner to make sure both our skin is clean as well as our lungs. And so if your lungs ever close up and you're so sick you cannot breathe good, the smelling maile hohono is really important to have in your repertoire, as well as we use it in a pulolo steam bath. And so you put a blanket over your head and it really pulls everything out. And so that's one of the key ingredients inside of our body butter that we do because of its cleaning power on both the smell to clean and make your lungs strong, and then on your skin as well.
Actually, this one's my favorite too. When kids get bit by mosquitoes, this is another one I roll up in my hand and they welt up. Yeah, they get the big bump on their skin. And so I until your hand turns a little green, you just dab it right on, and before they leave, the welt goes down. And so this one's also really good for rashes, itchy, and those bites that are they get really big.
And the smell, it's one of my favorite smells. I'm so sorry we don't have smell cam yet. But, that smell is one of its identifying characteristics.
Tell us the name again of that one.
Maile hohono.
Maile hohono.
Introduced, but
okay.
Yeah, but our kumu, Auntie Alapa'i, another kumu that I have never met, but I just know her from her stories and what the knowledge being passed down. And so she is one that guides our work over here. And then I guess the two plants that we're not going to talk about, we're just going to jump into our processing. But this is hono hono. It's a grass. And then this is pohina hina. And so this one is an indigenous plant over here. And so, maybe we'll meet them in another video.
Yes. I was just going to say that. We'll have to have you come back.
Wow.
There's always so more or so much more to share. And then, maybe Puni can be available next time too.
Yes, you're going to want her for sure.
Can we share really quick about harvesting?
Yeah, you can talk.
I did want to share really quick about before we harvest or pull the plant out, we pule. Our pule might have led us to the plant in the first place, but pule, we ask permission and we listen and we mahalo, and then we take care. We weed around it or whatever the plant might need, we'll malama a little bit. But always when you're harvesting or touching anything that's going to be medicine, really, really like aloha, love, positive, all of that is going, everything you talk about, think about is going into the medicine, and that helps heal the person that needs healing as well. So,
and you also want to kilo the environment and make sure that where you're harvesting your lāʻau from, they don't spray pesticides or they don't have anything like that, because all those types of poisons, they will go into your medicine. And so you want to be aware of your body and look, is there like a lot of slugs in that area or other type of opala, or is it right by the road where there's a lot of emission from the cars? And so we want to maka'ala and be aware of where we get our lāʻau from, make sure we build a relationship with the environment so that we know the condition of these plants, to make sure that we're harvesting the most optimal ones that we can.
I was also going to say that reminded me too of, because for lei makers as well, we have very similar processes, you know, of doing pule and then gathering and all of that. And then I was also going to say, I know for many of us, like many lāʻau practitioners, is even when you're done and you're, you know, like say after you crushed it all up and then you put it on the welt or something, you know, a lot of people, they ask, well, what do we do with that now? And give us your thoughts on that. Like, what do you do with the lāʻau and the roots and everything when you're done?
Yeah, there's different levels. We're all about making ceremony accessible back here. And so like the easiest level is just throw them outside. Like as soon as they touch you can touch the earth. But sometimes we have a compost bin. And so we put a lot of our lāʻau in the compost bin so that it intentionally is regrowing. And so we're recycling that mana, all that mana that took to grow that plant, and then to harvest it into your medicine. That mana is also then going back into the soil and regrowing our plant. And so, and then the next highest level is especially if you harvested it for ceremony, then you're always giving it back to one specific spot and you're ho'omaning those spaces. And so you can be like, just get them outside, or you can be like the high pule, highest part of it. And so it's there's a range of things you can do with your lāʻau after how healing you.
I know some people like have a lei tree in their yard as well. Like even lei are, you know, in a way lāʻau. And so I've really seen some beautiful lei tree in front of people's homes.
Yeah, and that's a good piece of advice because it's graduation, right? And we get so many lei, and then there have been times, and I think we're a lot better now, but even when going to like Mary Monarch and stuff, there have been times I have seen lei like in the opala, you know, like walk out and boom, and I'm like, oh, you know, so, but I think there's been so much more awareness recently, you know, even with graduation, you know, like bringing the lei to the cemeteries and sharing it there, or like you said, in a lei tree, or just returning it to the aina, I think is the main thing, versus now it's dry and putting it in the opala.
Yeah, exactly. And it even puts a higher kuleana on lei makers that what they're making their leis with, instead of like wire string, or like you can use raffia or cotton, something that's biodegradable. And so yeah, and then even if you don't have a lei, have a lei with plastic on it, you have to cut it and take all the leis off and dispose them in one area, plant them in one area, and then all the opala goes in the proper receptacle. And so it's being more mindful about our what is trash and what is recyclable.
Awesome. So let's get started with our body butter.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, so many of our lāʻau people cannot come and get fresh lāʻau all the time, and so when we make products, so we can share and have them last on our shelf a little bit longer. And so this is our body butter that we make here, Aolani's famed body butter. And so this recipe has actually evolved over the years. Since we've been here, and we used to buy essential oils from doTERRA, or like all these other we had choke stuff in here, and then we slowly started to think about sovereignty more, or what can we produce more. And so instead of buying, I'm gonna read off the ingredients and then just share a little mo'olalos, and then Aolani's gonna take us into it. And so kauna oa is, the ingredients are kauna oa, hono grass, maile hohono, laukahi, pohinahina, coconut oil, shea butter, vitamin E oil, frankincense oil, iliahi, and lavender. And so over the years, we actually changed it, and there's no longer frankincense oil. We thought iliahi is really ikaika oil on itself, and it comes from the Big Island from one of our friends distills it. And then, and it's also increases our native forestry because it's their growth for all the oils that they make, they're actually planting more iliahi trees. And then the lavender, instead of buying oil, Aolani actually grows that at her house. It grows really well at her house in Neolapa. And then the rest of the ingredients all grow here. Or we have other friends that get them. So that was really important, a part of us. And so Bombay will have enough coconut trees that we can make our coconut oil, but we're almost there.
I think we can just move the camera back and then I'll bring this forward. Or yeah.
And just for all our friends that are watching, we will be sharing their recipe. They'll be sending it over to us right after we're done, and we'll be posting it on our schedule page under the supplies. So you'll be able to try and do this on your own, as well as they will share some links on where they get like their shea butter and some of their other things. So more resources to come.
Nice. Mahalo for saying that. So we're gonna do really quickly. We already have our butter in here. That's been, I whipped it. It's a little bit of a step, but it makes it less bulky, I guess. So you whip it first. So I just did a little, it's my electric egg beater right here.
Yeah.
And so I just did a little bit of whipping. So that's how I got it to this. It was really hard. They come like solid. And so I whipped it first, so it's a little bit easier and faster.
So sorry, quick question. When you get the shea butter, you're saying it's in a little more solid. Are you melting it or no? You put them straight in the bowl and then you're whipping it?
I put it straight in the bowl and I whip it. Some people say that it's, here it is. So it comes in a bag like this, and it's really hard. Like I can barely squeeze it. But for the butter, like in our instructions, it melts in high heat. And so I actually like it solid like this, and doing the whipping step keeps it a little more fluffier. And if you melt it all, you still can do that. People think it comes out less bumpy. It's just a big step, and you have to get it solid again, and then you whip it again. And so I just like to have the oils that we infused here, that we didn't really talk about, but we infused it with a crock pot, and we just put our dry lāau in oil, and we can show and talk about that in another time. And so this is all the lāau that we talked about in here in our whipped butter. And so I already measured it. It's about a cup. That's what our ratios are. It's a cup to a cup of shea butter to coconut oil, or any oil that you're more familiar with in your body. And so I just add it, and then you whip it. You put all your ingredients together. This is our, it says kapu, but it's our iliahi oil. And so I'll add this, just a tiny bit. For this one, a little bit goes a long way. And so I'm just gonna take a little bit.
For our audience that doesn't know what iliahi is, can you tell them?
It's sandalwood.
Sandalwood oil.
Yeah, and so that's it. And there's sandalwood around all the islands in the world, but the ones that are found in Hawaii are endemic over here, and so they're pretty unique, have characteristics and healing properties that are unique to Hawaii. And so doTERRA, actually, that's a resource that you can read online about the healing properties of the iliahi, and they actually have a producer over here in the island. So
he uses down iliahi, I believe, and then also outplants iliahi. So we want to also say that, like, when you get your ingredients, be really mindful of how you get it and where it comes from and how do they get it to you. So
Now, do you want to talk about the shea butter and where it comes from?
yeah, the shea butter, I believe mainly grows in Africa because of the type of tree it is. And so the shea butter that we get is from Fairtail, I believe, on Amazon.
We'll have a link.
We'll have a link. But they're widowed wahine, they're widowed women, and their main goal is to send their keiki to school. And so they get together and they make shea butter. And that's the company that we support. And that's kind of the little bit of research we've done to try and make sure where our ingredients are coming from, the lāau we're getting out to people, is we try to get the most manafo as we can.
Mm.
And so once you get all of so the iliahi, it can be, if you really like lemongrass or lavender, you can use that essential oil as well if that's what your body is more like pa'atu. And so we use the iliahi, which is a really special one. And then once you get all your ingredients in the bowl, you just mix it up. And so I just use my electric whip and ready. I'm not gonna talk, okay?
Yeah, good. Awesome. So yeah, as she's doing that, if you have any mana'o or questions, and if you're just tuning in, they're making shea butter, and they used infused oil, coconut oil, with the different medicinals that they shared today, the maile hohono, the laukahi, pohina, and yeah, some amazing things. So that's what we're seeing.
And so you can see how it came to like a creamy texture. And so this is a 10 to 15 minute process of just whipping. So you get air and you aerate in there. And so the whipped body butter is a little bit of a process, but it's not that hard to do. It's stuff you already have probably at home. We definitely do only use this, not for food and just for lāʻau, which is a lot of the things that when you make lāʻau, you want it to kind of be dedicated to lāʻau. And so 10 to 15 minutes of whipping this, and it comes to like a light, fluffy texture that is like almost you want to eat it. But you can put it anywhere. It's really good for the type of lāʻau we use. It's really good for rashes, eczema, itchy. If you have a cut and it's healing and the scab is itchy, you can put it on that. And
use it on my tattoos.
When you get tattoos and it's dry, it's mainly, it's a good thing to moisten your skin every day. The sun is constantly taking from your skin. And so if you have something that you can put on every day that's a little light, that feeds your skin, that's something we're trying to get out to people. People are washing their hands a lot more these days, and it's drying out their skin sometimes. And so this is another good thing to add to your daily routine. Every night I put some oil on and some butter on, and in my hair. So that's how we make body butter here. We try to make it really easy so people can do it on their own. If you need help, you can reach out. If you have any questions, you can on ho'olu'aina.com or at ho'olu'aina on Instagram. And that's
So
we're on Instagram too, and so if you have any questions for us as well, you can follow us as well. And we're pretty open people. Just let us know if you have questions directly to us, and we can further explain anything.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. I even learned so much, and I'm gonna try this. I gotta go place my order for shea butter, but once that comes in, I'm definitely gonna try. And I do see a few comments and questions here that I'll throw out before I bring up our closing slides. So one, so there's a lot of mahalo. They're saying mahalo nui for all the work that Ho'olu'aina is doing and the beautiful work, and hana Ho'olu'aina. Greatly appreciate the linking of historical mo'olelo and contemporary practices. So awesome. That is from Keola Chan, that we all love and adore. Michael is saying, I definitely want to visit Ho'olu'aina. And then Justin is asking, do you sell seed for the people not able to get the Hawaiian plants?
Sell seed. We want to give it. It's really hard for us to sell stuff. If you want to donate, we're more than welcome online. You can donate. If you can come here, that's the best. Is that on another island?
I think Justin is tuning in from outside of Hawaii. Justin is a regular. Regular here on Lei Ānuenue. So I recognize the name. And I think Justin's tuning in from outside. So another one. So yeah, connect with Ho'olu'aina. Go to, their website, ho'olu'aina.com, as well as their Facebook or Instagram. And then, you can find out more. One more question I see here is, do you sell the body butter?
So here at Ho'olu'aina, everything is for sale and nothing's for sale. So we Puni made this system called Umekinomics here, and so we operate in many systems, including money. If you want to pay in money, you can. So we have a suggested donation of is it $20 for this, and also if you want to trade something as well, we give like the umeke is what you can put anything that you have, any gifts that you have into it. And so sometimes people volunteer here, sometimes they say, oh, we have choke ulu or something that's growing, and so we operate in many systems, especially right now because we're not socializing as much. Money, because online we have an online store that you can check out, and so our online store mostly just operates in credit cards right now. And so but yeah, connect with us deeper if you want to. So a lot of the when you buy something here at Ho'olu'aina, we actually give away a lot of our stuff because our lāau program, we work with people that are on a healing journey. And so people that buy olena, they're actually allowing someone to use olena, about a gallon of olena on their cancer journey. And so by donating to Ho'olu'aina, you're actually helping someone heal with lāau lapa'au. And so and so all the prices and all of our products are on our store. And so it's a pretty good operating system that you'll get it in a good amount of time after you place the order.
Awesome. So maybe some closing mana'o before I bring up my closing slides.
Well, sometimes the weeds are medicine.
And so just mahalo for this opportunity for sharing. We're sorry that you couldn't have Puni Jackson on our, she's the amazing haku and caretaker of all of us here. And so, but mahalo for this opportunity to share, and of all of our kumu that have shared with us, and gives us this platform to just keep sharing this information. And we keep, we're pretty much just open. We're always continually learning off of each other and from the plants, and we love reading books as well and reading from the newspaper articles. And so there's so many ways of learning. And so if you want to connect with us and deepen anything, just connect with us. And
we're learning as well. So if you have something to teach and share, we're connecting. We want to connect, and we want to be able to just ho'ulu together.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So go check out their mo'o tales again on Instagram. They do that Instagram live. So go find them and follow them on their Instagram page, Ho'olu'aina. And I watched some of them. I didn't watch all of them, but I watched a few, and I learned so much about different lāau you can use for teas. And all the beautiful colors. I remember seeing that one. You had like about 6 different omole, and they were all different colors. It was just beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. So thanks again, you guys. And mahalo for sharing your heart, sharing your practice, sharing all of these mo'olelo. And please give our aloha to everyone there at Ho'olu'aina. So let me bring up my slides now. And we just have a few. Oh, let's see. Here we go.
Oh, look at that.
So as always, we asked if you can please kokua us by going to our survey, our online survey. It's a Google form. It has about 6 questions. It'll be really quick. You go to kanaiokana.net/survey. It's a way to give us feedback, and then we can also share that with our presenters on ways to get better. There's a question there that you can tell us if there's any specific topics that you would like us to bring here to Lei Ānuenue onto our platform. And yeah, just ways to connect with people. So please take a few minutes when you're done today, go to kanaiokana.net/survey. As always, we're just so happy about all the variety of Lei Ānuenue as well as aikole sessions that we are able to produce collectively with Kanaiokana, Kamehameha schools, as well as Hawaii Nui Akea. And you know, we continue to partner with all our friends like Ahakane, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs with their Aloha Rising. That's gonna come up today at 2 o'clock with Kumuhina and so many more. So the best place to get updates on this is go to kanaiokana.net/lei. And you know, I will say, because I'm seeing Kumu Hau'oli Akaka's picture on here, and Hau'oli Akaka as well as Leilani Basham will be on the Aikole show and talking about Olelo Hawaii in Halau and the importance there. So many exciting topics. And you know, Friday, our Lei Ānuenue will be a huaka'i and a holoholo session at Kapapalo Ilkanewai with Makahiapo Cashman. So they'll be talking a little bit about the varieties of kalo and just giving you a bird's eye view of what Kanewai looks like if you've never been there. So make sure you put it in your schedule and come back and visit us. As always, follow us on Facebook as well as on Instagram, whether it be Kanaiokana, Hawaii Nui Akea, as well as Ho'oulu Aina. That's how you can stay connected with all of our partners and upcoming schedules. And yes, Kamaha'o, part 2 till part 2. That means Ho'oulu Aina is gonna be returning. So we'll have to schedule that very soon. So aloha no, and again, ke aloha nui ya oko pakahi, mahalo.